Hi, folks. Welcome back. We've been off for a wee while. This is just a quick message to say that, in true shouting into the void fashion, I have recorded with the wrong mic for this episode. So I now have to give you a wee message letting you know that, if you're listening to it and you're wondering, why is this audio so shit? That's the reason. It's only in this episode. Sunday's episode should be absolutely okay, and I just want to apologise. It wouldn't be shouting into the void without a plethora of technical issues. So yeah, you knew what you were getting yourself into. Please enjoy. That's just Discord there. See how unprofessional this is? Please enjoy, and welcome back.
Hey Denny, how you doing, man?
These are the words of the beast.
That was very good.
Oh man,
The words of the beast, who is a 40-a-day smoker.
yeah. I don't know how that guy does it. Is it like a voice changer or something?
God knows. Maybe it's maybe they just got Vincent Price in, and he did all of that, and then they just dubbed it over the actual actor's face.
I mean,
Who knows?
I'm sure that people who know who Vincent Price is are laughing their arses off right
You know, Michael Jackson's Thriller video.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's Vincent Price. It's like, oh, it's bloody Halloween. I can't remember Thriller very well, but yeah.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, wonder what he's doing now.
I think he's dead, if I'm going to be quite honest with you.
Oh.
The Google Vincent Price. Vincent Price died in 1993. Wow, okay.
Oh shit, that's dreadful.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Well, anyway, I you couldn't tell from that opener.
Welcome back.
A high energy one.
Yeah, we've been off for a wee while because of different reasons, but we're back now, and we are doing a Doctor Who season 2 episode 9, and we're going to start this two-parter. Hopefully, finish it in sometime this month. And it's The Impossible Planet, and it was written by Matt Jones. It was directed by James Strong, and it is starring David Tennant, Billy Piper, Sean Parks, Claire Rushbrook, Danny Webb, Will Thorpe, and Ronnie.
Ronnie, no surname. Yeah, that famous guy, like Beyonce and Madonna.
Yeah. See, my trouble is that I can't, because I write K so poorly. Sometimes it looks like an H. So
I see. Give us the two options of what it could be, and we'll decide between ourselves.
So it's either
without googling
it's either Ronnie Juch or Ronnie Ja.
Right, I think I'm just going to Google it.
Yeah, just Google it.
What's it called? The Impossible
Planet. Yeah.
We're barely a minute in, and I've Googled something twice.
Yeah. I should probably just type these names. Look.
Yeah. What's it? Johnny?
Ronnie.
Oh yeah.
Ronnie.
Ronnie. He plays Danny Bartok. Who is Danny Bartok's the one I'm thinking of? I don't like him very much.
Oh, he's the one that controls the Ood's sort of.
He's the Ood ethics guy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like him. He annoys me.
Damn.
Ronnie, I'd say that's Jutty. I don't really know, but it's an H basically.
Right, where's the T then? Have I not written a T? Oh my god.
There's two T's. It's JHUTTI.
Oh yeah, that's making sense now. That's making sense. It's just that the ink is so thick in the pen that the sort of stem of the I has connected with the dot of the I, so it looks looks like a capital H. But
of course it does.
There we go. So good start. Do you have an opening statement?
I do have an opening statement. One of my favourite episodes of Doctor Who. This one and the next. I know it's like a two-parter, but mega episodes. One of my favourite mega episodes of Doctor Who. I like. It plays with themes of cosmic horror without delving into it too intensely, but I do quite like that it's something that even the Doctor can't quite figure out. It's sort of he's perplexed by this, and he's forced to make decisions without knowing all the information. Which is something that we don't see very, very much as we sort of progress through the series.
Yeah, definitely. An absolute masterclass in cosmic horror that still deeply unsettles me. I think this two-parter was pretty ballsy considering religion being the backdrop.
Yeah, I suppose so. I think
I mean,
religion
it's-
has always been the backdrop for a lot of cosmic horror, though.
Yeah, I mean, but like, especially for the time, like this came out in like 2005, so it was like there was a lot less sort of like social commentary on stuff like that, and the fact that it was
suppose,
like a
yeah.
BBC kids show, like they delved into like the ideas of like God and the devil and like what's real and what it, like that's pretty fucking. It's
I
pretty
suppose
fucking
it is
ballsy.
pretty intense, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, do you have some creepy room questions, statements?
Yes, I do. Why, if you're building a console room, why would you have a console that can spontaneously catch fire? Why would you build that in? Why would you make that happen? Why would you not protect against that? That's my first question.
I mean, I don't know if that was like a setting that they had, like the fire setting. I think it's
You
just
turn the dial and it just ignites.
yeah. It just that, you know, if the heaters aren't working, they turn on the fire setting. I don't know. I think I'm not really sure I understand your question to be honest.
Well, my frustration, this happens in a lot of sci-fi. It's like a sort of a sci-fi trope is, oh, the engine's overloading or something, and then all of a sudden all of the control panels burst into flames.
Yeah.
And that always annoys me, because, like, if there was a problem with your computer, would you expect your screen to burst into flames? Would you, to be quite honest, if you were doing anything, would you expect that thing to burst into flames if it did not already involve flames?
Yeah, I suppose.
If I was cooking on a gas stove and I was like, "Oh shit, I've accidentally flambéed this," and it's like a big flare up. Okay, yeah, it's on fire, great. But there are most things in my house I would not expect them to catch fire spontaneously.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair sort of assumption of the scenario that you're in. I guess it's just maybe it runs in so much power that it bursts into flames every now and then. I mean,
Maybe.
I don't know if there's an
Every
in-universe
now and
reason
then.
for this. I don't know if you know, but I think you're
Must be a
right.
cheeky
It's a pretty
aesthetic
stupid
choice.
design.
Right, I like Mr. Jefferson. He's good.
Yeah, he is.
The security chief, because he seems like a bit of a twat, and then he's not a twat, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
He's on the surface of it, he's characterized as like that. He's like this seasoned soldier who's a bit of a bellend, but then you sort of get to know him a bit better, and he's quite nice, and he takes his job quite seriously, and it's like, it's nice, it's refreshing to have a character that so fits into a stereotype so well, and then subverts that stereotype just a little bit. I quite like that.
Yeah. I love the look of the base. It looks lived in. It looks like something that could actually be like a sort of space base
Yeah.
for like human beings. It's not like sort of Star Trekky and sort of clean. It's like I imagine that when things, if things happen in our timeline where we go out into space, it's not going to be sort of, you know.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have like pristine sort of spaceships
Yeah, it
24/7 like in Star Trek. You're right.
It just looks like an interstellar sort of building site, you know. I imagine
Yeah,
that's what it's probably going to be like. It's really good.
No, I know exactly what you mean. It's yeah. There's this great Kuzgazakt video about making Mars bases, and they talk about the limitations of like, because Mars gets so horrifically bombarded by radiation 24/7, you'd have to pad the base walls out so much that you've essentially got like an underground base. So I think there's a lot of planets where like it was like, right, well, can we just build a normal house? No, we're gonna have to dig a big hole and then build a house in the hole and then cover it with dirt.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of the time you are going to have sort of shitty, weird sort of bases and stuff, which I quite like. And, right, this is a bit of a hot take, but we're going to go with it. This two-parter is thematically extremely similar to the Under the Lake Before the Flood two-parter.
Yeah. I was good.
It's
Yeah.
it's something I did not realise at all until I rewatched Under the Lake Before the Flood the other day, just for fun. I was like, oh, this is exactly the same in so many ways.
Yeah.
But that again goes back to it looks a bit gross. I quite liked that the basin Under the Lake Before the Flood looked a bit gross because it was underwater and it was all mouldy and shit.
Yeah.
I quite liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. I really like the crew have all like really good like characterization. Like you know, they don't have a lot of time to sort of to get you to know the characters and stuff, but you feel as if even Scooty who's like killed off, it's like there's still some like characterization there, and it's like it's done in a sort of organic way that isn't just like, you know, like the Suicide Squad opening where it's like you see like
Oh God.
yeah.
Yeah. I've done my best to block that out from my memory. Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell the sort of inner conflicts just by like a couple of lines of dialogue. Like the captain the acting captain sort of being afraid of like, you know, command and whether he's doing a good job or not, the pressures of that. What's his name? The guy who becomes possessed, what's his face?
Toby?
Yeah, and how he's sort of, you know, very
He's sort of picked on by the others in a strange way.
yeah, and he sort of retreats into his work and his curiosity, and that's how it how it gets him. Yeah, I just think like it's where I think a lot of it has to do with the performances as well. There's not like one bad performance in this episode. They all feel real. They all feel sort of very authentic.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's there's something to be said for efficient characterization. It's we don't spend hours and hours getting to know these people, but in the very short space of time that you do get to know them, they get a lot across.
Yeah, definitely.
What you said about the design of the base, I've got a quick note here that says, right, you know, we get like sort of the aerial shot of the base. The base is like all corridor. The big main bit is like a big dome. The rest is just all corridor, which does not seem like a good way to design anything, really.
I
feel like
a thin sort of strip.
There should be more rooms than corridor, surely.
Yeah, you would think so. You know, for like physics, just for like sturdiness. You know, if you're underneath a fucking black hole. It looks almost like a big sort of Mega Block set or something like that. You know, that are.
Yeah, it does a bit.
Sort of alien prefab or something like that, you know. I think he actually says that, doesn't he? It's like, oh, this thing will be like
flat packs. Yeah,
and easier to build.
Yeah, that's the I think there is something about a flat pack it's very human in a strange way. I think we have a strange desire to flat pack things.
Yeah,
I think it's like you look back in history and there's examples of like ancient Roman trebuchets and stuff like being flat packed to be shipped off to the Hadrian's Wall or whatever. I just think that's kind of crazy that humans keep going back to flat packing things, which is brilliant. I love it, but it's just also slightly insane.
You think there's like a Roman equivalent of like, because I've been there in like the morning of like a big delivery, and like, you know, there's something aesthetically pleasing about that. You know, it's freezing and you've got your cup of tea in your hand and you're sort of watching as this big lorry comes in with like, do you think the Romans did that? Do you think they have like, I don't know, a big sort of horse and carriage and they're standing there like, right, let's get this loaded, lads. You know, they've got their extra shiny
probably.
breastplates instead of like UV jackets or something like that.
Extra shiny ones. I like the idea that they just are rolling around in gravel to tarnish up the breastplates, and then they just like, you know, where the strips of super luminescent silver is on high-vis jackets. They've like just polished those lines on their breastplate.
Yeah, Leonidas, your breastplate is too shiny. You look like one of the horse cart loaders. Get that dirtied up.
Oh God, get that dirtied up, Leonidas. Yes, sir. And he just leaps into a pit of gravel and starts frantically rolling around.
Very good,
sir. Oh God, I have to say, flat packs. It's one of my favourite. I think it was an advert for like IKEA or something. Where it was two Vikings, and they were like making a flat pack catapult or a flat pack trebuchet or something. And one of them had the instructions, and one of them was like twisting something. And one of them shouted to the other, "Now twist the screw clockwise." And he looks at his mate and goes, "What's a clock?" I really like that. It's like one of my favourite jokes.
That is pretty good. I am a friend of the Ood.
You personally, or are you quoting the episode?
No, I am a friend of the Ood.
Yeah, me too.
The sort of activists that are like, I presume they want them free.
Yeah, presumably.
I think there's an episode later on in season 4 where they sort of delve into that a bit more.
Doctor and Donna, and there's like that big brain that a bloke jumps into and drowns, and yeah it's like a whole thing. That's you make a very good point. Obviously, I think there is something inherently problematic about Like, there's quite a
Slavery.
few examples of... Well, yes, but my point that I'm trying to make is slavery where it's implied that they are happy to be slaves. Like, it's the Ood, it's like, oh no, they're happy. They're born to be, born to serve, sort of thing. But then it's also, like, say, the house elves in Harry Potter. It's like, oh no, they want to serve. That's what they want to do.
Yeah.
There's something inherently problematic about that, where you're thinking, well, that's just a bit gross. I don't like that. I feel like relying upon slavery of any kind is not good, you know?
Yeah. I like how Rose sort of like has a sort of like callback to when she worked for like a big sort of company. Like it's obviously it's obviously like not the same thing, but like I think increasingly more and more people are sort of, you know, doing jobs that they hate, and it's just, you know, I don't really have a choice because I need to make money, you know.
You need to make money to pay for the bills.
Yeah, definitely. So it's like maybe that's if like it's becoming like they would said, we have nothing else in life, you know. I'm sure. I think for at least a few people, it's like, well, maybe that's what's happening to me. I don't have anything else because I'm trapped in a job that I hate so much, you know.
Yeah, and it's when you see the sort of depressing reality of people that are having to work two jobs that both of them they hate, and do like 16-hour days. It's because I've done an 8-hour shift at Starbucks, and now I need to do an 8-hour shift at B&Q.
Yeah,
because you just need the cash, and it's so poorly paying.
Definitely,
it's like, because in theory you've chosen to do that job, so in theory you've chosen to be a part of this horrific capitalist machine. Well, is that not...
It's not a choice, though, is it?
No, exactly. It's like a forced choice, which is
it's like
coercion. That's the word I'm looking for.
It's like offering someone to be punched or stabbed. Like,
yes, yeah.
It's not as if like, oh well, look at the freedoms I have.
Yes, exactly. Well, moving on from capitalism, because somehow we've brought it back to that.
I know, but to be fair, that is
minutes.
pretty, like, you know, it doesn't get more sort of social commentary than that, than literally
no, that's very true.
having slaves in your story.
Yeah. No, you're right. But yeah, there's a lot of cosmic horror things that I particularly like. I love cosmic horror in general. Something that I liked about this was that when they were looking at the symbols and they wouldn't translate the symbols on the sort of, not mine shaft, what am I calling it? The trapdoor around the outside.
So not the what? Oh.
Yeah, like right at the end when they were looking at those symbols and they were like, I can't translate them. I could spend forever down here trying to figure them out and I've got no idea what it would say, sort of thing. I liked that very, very much. It reminded me of, I mean, I did a whole nugget of bullshit where I was going on and on about podcasts, but in this podcast I liked, it's like an adaptation of H.P. Lovecraft's stories. And they spoke about this symbol, which was like the icon of this church that worships this being that may or may not exist, and all that classic Lovecraft nonsense.
Yeah.
And they were talking about this symbol, and he said, and the narrator was saying, as I looked at the symbol, I couldn't focus my eyes on it. I couldn't keep focus on it for longer than a second or two, and it gave me a migraine as I put it down. I hurt my head to look at it. And I like that it's the idea of if these beings do exist in dimensions higher than our own and that sort of thing. I like the idea that even trying to process thoughts about them, or trying to look at symbols, or trying to understand them, it's physically impossible for us. It hurts our brains. And, do you know what I mean?
It would just destroy us. Like,
yeah, exactly. And
I really like that idea, and like stories, like there's just things that we just aren't allowed to know or can't know. I almost feel that this two-parter is almost a bit like that, because there are Doctor Who episodes that you can just sit down and watch and just sort of like have it on in the background, but this, like, I couldn't like casually watch this, you know. It's like you actually have to put like effort in to watch this, you know. It's almost a bit like that sort of writing. It's like if you're watching it, you're going to be watching it, you know.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
But trying to see what.
One thing I'd go
on. Getting rid of the TARDIS is a good way to get a creative way out of the situation. So I'm really glad that they've went with that.
Yep.
I cannot wait to see how they get out of this one. It's going to be great, whatever it is.
I hope they don't bring the TARDIS back, whatever happens.
Oh no, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that. Come on now, don't be. Don't be so uncharitable.
I liked the lots of little bits of world building, like on the table in, I think it was the canteen, there was just like some physics scrawled on the table, just some scribbles of little equations and stuff, and it's a nice little touch of physical world building, of just like that little bit of world building tells a story. It's like for example, if you move into a house or something, then in the back of a cupboard you discover a tiny little piece of glass that broke off a set of Christmas tree lights. That tells a story about, oh well, these Christmas tree lights, like, they were loved and appreciated every Christmas, and they got put in the cupboard, and now they've gone because the person's moved out of the house. But this one piece of all those Christmases remained and all that. The physics on the table tells another sort of story of, like, people were just so busy and so desperate to know what is going on, sort of thing, and so busy and so desperate to, like, figure something out, they had to just write it on the table because they didn't have any paper to hand or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like physical world building like that.
No, I do as well. I do have, like, some questions about the logistics of, like, the beast's sort of abilities. Like, somehow he can possess, like, everyone, but only he can only leave when, like, the pit is open. Like, he wasn't free before he was, like, possessing all of the Ood. Like, how does that work?
Maybe it's like you can only sort of what's the word I'm looking for? He can only sort of send out like a fraction of himself. Like, he can only send out a little bit of himself, enough to possess people. Then when the pit's open, all of him can come out, sort of thing. Yeah. There's some kind of integral part of his soul, as it were, that stays within his body.
Yeah, that's be some bullshit reason like that. If you got the writer of this episode and, like, stuck him to a chair, put a gun to his head, he'd probably say something like that.
Oh yeah, probably.
But
sorry, go on.
No, go on. Sorry.
I quite like that Toby's lips turn blue when he's possessed.
Yeah.
Because it's sort of it's a nice touch of world building, and it's kind of like he's a little bit dead when that happens.
Yeah.
When he's out in the vacuum of space and his lips are going blue, and it's like it's he's not quite as alive as he once was. It's just like a little sort of turning up of the dial of weirdness, which I really like.
Yeah, I mean, what's really scary is that, like, Toby is like as soon as he's possessed, he's just dead forever now. Like, like even when he returns to his normal self, like that can't be him, you know.
Yeah.
It's like it must be like a projection. I mean, even the beast says that. It's like, "You look at me and you will die." It's like, he turned around.
Yeah.
Like, why would you?
Why wouldn't you just get up and close your eyes and walk out of the room?
Yeah, I get it's like a metaphor.
I'm not looking.
I get it's like a metaphor for, like, human curiosity and all that, and that's like a big sort of thing about this episode. It's like, oh, that little itch at the back of your head. It's like, I don't have that fucking itch if a creepy voice is telling me, you will. If you look at me, son, you will die. Okay, woo. No.
No, I do love I love Ten's love of humans and that sort of the indomitability of the human condition of, like, standing on a beach and looking out to sea and thinking, what's on the other side of the horizon? What else is out there I need to know? I think I love that innate sort of thing in humanity. I love it. It's great.
Yeah, I think it's because he wanted to be human. Almost.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't imagine Capaldi sort of saying that. You couldn't imagine him going, "Oh, you brilliant humans, going wherever you are, blundering in and seeing Satan. Oh, amazing." He'd probably call them, like, stupid or something, and, like, say, "Oh, you funny little people," like that. But, like, David Tennant's Doctor, I think, really wanted to be human, especially with, like, the romance that he had with Rose. Like, they talked about like settling down in this episode, so maybe he's sort of a bit sort of sad that he can never sort of have that, you know.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Yeah, because that's Tennant's great struggle in this. He's the god that wants to be human. Yeah,
definitely.
And just briefly bringing it back to Peter Capaldi for a second. Peter Capaldi was in The Vicar of Dibley. Did you know this?
I've never seen The Vicar of Dibley.
No, neither have I. It's been dumped onto Netflix as a big block of episodes, and Chloe and I tried to watch a couple. And in one of the early episodes, he's like this handsome, charismatic director that's come to film an episode of Songs of Praise at the Vicar of Dibley's church. It's really strange. It was like she opened the door to the church, Dawn French did, and Peter Capaldi's just there like, "Hi, I'm here to direct an episode of Songs of Praise." It's like, oh, that's weird.
I'm gonna. It's Dawn French, isn't it, who made that?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's done some pretty amazing shows. Like even
Oh God, yeah.
even there's a show that I quite like that I started watching. They've just started putting like old BBC shows, old BBC comedies on Netflix. Absolutely Fabulous with
Yes,
Jennifer Saunders. That's like based on an idea that her and Dawn French had. It says it at the start of every episode.
Because isn't it French and Saunders have a production company?
I think so.
I think
yeah.
it's called the French Saunders Production Company or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I forgot who Jennifer Saunders was, because when I was watching it and I heard her voice, I was like, "That's the fucking fairy godmother from Shrek 2." Yeah. Joanna Lumley, she's fantastic in that show as well. She's really funny.
Yeah, Joanna Lumley's cool, isn't she?
Yeah, definitely. But anyway, back to Satan.
Yeah, back to Satan. I've run out of notes, to be honest with you. Most of the interesting, exciting stuff happens in the next episode, doesn't it?
Yeah.
In this one, it's just a lot of setup,
It's
but not a lot of payoff.
Yeah. It's a good amount of setup. You know, you're constantly you're asking questions by the end of it. You don't know what's going to happen, and then you find out next time. That's generally how it works. But yeah, I've ran out of notes as well. Do you have a closing statement?
I do have a cheeky closing statement. A brilliant setup for a brilliant payoff. It's one of the rare times Doctor Who sort of strays into cosmic horror, and I'm a big fan. I really like the sort of intrepid nature of the humans in the story, and how we're led to sort of say, that's amazing, how amazing that they've made that choice.
Yeah.
I really like this episode.
So do I. We've ran out of villains, Russell. Time to bring in the devil. Here we go. That's it. Amazing. Yeah, so that was The Impossible Planet.
Indeed it was.
Yeah.
Well, hey.
Let's do some cheeky shilling now.
Yeah, go on, let's do a bit. I'm going to have a cheeky sip of water while you do some shilling.
Wait, fuck, where's my thing? I have like a little piece of paper that I write everything down on. I should probably just start typing this shit, because it's really kind of... Anyway,
Very hard to read.
Yeah, we
Jesus Christ, you are having some trouble.
we all have link trees. Lewis's link
How
tree.
fucking flawless was that?
Lewis's link tree is...
We've all got link trees.
Lewis's link tree is link dot... I don't know it. Lewis, do you have it?
Fucking hell. Yes, I do have it. It's we've all got link trees. linktr.ee/ for me, it's Lewis_Brindley. For Danny, it's O'Hiram. And for the podcast, it's Shouting Into the Void. You can go to those link trees and you can check out social media, different places you can get it. You can go to YouTube. Do check out our YouTube channel, actually. We do little videos every week, and they're dead good. Go and have a look. Go on, Danny. Tell me some other bits of shilling that are on your piece of paper.
Yeah, we also have a PayPal donate button. So anything you can spare, anything at all, would be very much appreciated. We also have a Patreon.
Yes.
And we want to thank our wonderful, wonderful patrons. Chloe.
Thank you.
Darius.
Thank you.
Sophie.
Thank you.
Peter.
Thank you.
Aditya.
Thank you.
Richard.
Thank you.
Natalie.
Thank you.
And we have a newcomer. Dougie.
You only get one more of them, Dougie, so bear that in mind.
Yep. There you go.
If you would like to join our illustrious patrons, you can go to patreon.com/shoutingintothevoid. You have the opportunity to join our Discord where we hang out and we have some fun game nights every now and then. You can chat with us and you can say, oh, hi, I'm Phil from Leicester. And I'll say, hi, I'm Lewis from the Midlands.
Yes.
And then we will never speak again.
Definitely.
That's
Am
it.
I selling it yet?
Yeah, we also have merch on Teespring and Redbubble, and we sell lots of shit. So go have a look. Go see what you want. There you go. Selling away. We are also partnered with a fantastic company, Right Side Yarns, and we have an amazing advert for them. And I'm editing this week, so you will hear that advert now.
Danny, I've got some amazing news.
Oh, really? What?
I'm going to make you a hat.
Thanks. But why?
Well, because Right Side Yarns, who sell beautiful and unique wool, have recently released a new range.
Oh, I've heard of them. Aren't they that fantastic Scottish business that sells high-quality hand-dyed products perfect for crafting with?
They certainly are, and they're sponsoring the show.
Really? Have they heard the show?
Yes, and apparently they like it. Kezia, the owner of the business, has given us a generous 15% off code for any of our listeners to use.
Is that why you've got Void 15 written in your hand?
It is! If you or any of our listeners would like to use the code, simply enter VOID15 at checkout with a capital V.
Great! Where do I check out?
You can go to their website at rightsideyarns.co.uk or check them out on Instagram at Kezia_rightsideyarns.
Fantastic! This hat you're making me better be good.
Oh, my goodness.
That is, every time I hear that advert, I think, could it be any better next time? And it always is.
It always is. It
Always is.
It's on an upward trajectory every time. There's
Yes,
never.
I
any...
like how you stumbled over that word. That was really good.
Shut it. Last but certainly not least, we are partnered also with another amazing company called Number 12 Crochet Avenue, and Lewis is going to say some wonderful things about them, all of which are true.
Indeed. Number 12 Crochet Avenue is a wee little Instagram company run by my wife. We can go and check out all the cool things she's doing with yarn, and you can be like, oh, that's a cool thing she's doing with yarn. Go and check it out on Instagram at Number 12 Crochet Avenue. It's all words and letters, no punctuation, no numbers. Go and take a look. Thank you very much.
Definitely. Well, that was Doctor Who.
Indeed it was.
It's the first part of a two-parter, and the next part will be at some point.
That's, who fucking knows when it'll be.
Yeah, we've got
By the
some.
way,
We've got some stuff in the pipeline that we're going to be putting out, but we will get to it eventually. It's a very busy
Indeed we
time
will.
for us, but you know that's good.
To put into perspective how busy this time is, I wrote these notes on the 19th of January. We are recording this on the 1st of March. We might get to to episode 10 next week. It might be 6 months. Who fucking knows?
Yeah,
But either way, stay tuned. We'll get to it eventually, promise.
definitely. Yeah, so thank you so much for listening and welcome back. We've got some
Yeah.
exciting stuff in the works. We're going to be putting that out as soon as, and cheers for listening.
Yes, thank you for listening. We'll see you soon. Thanks.
Goodbye.
Oh, for God's sake.